He's been called the world's strongest man.
Everybody thinks I'm Superman.
You're the only guy I've ever had in the studio where when I showed up, you were working out.
David Goggins is a retired Navy SEAL. He went from being a 300-pound cockroach exterminator to the fittest man on the planet, a journey which never to be tested, but to be lived. He once held the Guinness World Record of maximum 4,030 pull-ups in 17 hours.
This is the 40%. When you quit, your mind says we're done. So it doesn't expand. There's no expansion when you quit. When you say, fuck you, this sucks, I'm drowning, I'm miserable, I'm suffering, I'm broken, but I'm not going anywhere.
As a child, he once had a dream to enter the United States Air Force and ended up becoming the only man to complete all three: SEAL training, U.S. Army Ranger School, and Air Force Tactical Air Controller training. He is a 51-year-old American triathlete, having completed over 60 ultramarathons, triathlons, and ultra-triathlons in total. So, let's find out his moment of mastery and his rules to the ultimate truth.
I'm back, motherfucker! I'm back!
They say if you are born in a chaos, you end up seeking an order of living. David Goggins, unlike every other child, started his early childhood in a harsh and toxic environment. His father was an alcoholic, abusive man who used to beat him, his mother and siblings every single day. Overnight, working at a skating rink owned by his father only, and then this beating turned David into a sad and suffering child. Eventually, when they had enough, their mother took them and left. But the effects of toxic stress followed David throughout his childhood. He had learning issues, stuttering problems, and then the racism of the locality where he used to live. No matter how hard he tried, he lived in a fight or flight responses. David depicts his life in his book, You Can't Hurt Me, about his living through a harsh environment and how he grew up to tackle one obstacle after another.
I was born David Goggins. David Goggins wasn't good enough. He was a scared, bullied, abused kid who struggled in life. And that kid, whenever something got tough, no matter how hard I trained, no matter how ready I was, whenever something got tough for me, David Goggins, the real David Goggins, would come out and he would quit. I was not always this strong guy you see. I went through a lot of hard times in my life to get here today.
Facing through school years, he had hair fall issues, skin problems. Still, he got inspired in those years to join the Air Force. He doubted his potential, but still he started writing his goals to pass the vocational battery required for the armed forces. He calls these easy and challenging targets as his accountability mirror. He made a habit of standing in front of an imaginary accountability mirror, and every day since then, he reminds himself about his missions.
For me, I'm like, man, why can't I get past this fucking hurdle? So like I said, I'm always examining myself every day. What is it? What is it?
Still, he never got to join the Army immediately due to his hidden illness called sickle cell anemia. The setbacks followed David Goggins in his entire life. Still, he used them as fuel for his next big thing that he wanted to achieve.
I know how it's gonna feel because I failed so many times before. Failure is the ultimate thing, man. I failed so many times before, and that's why I don't look at failure anymore as failure. I look at it as my first, second, and third attempt.
After leaving school and military ambition, David started working as an insect exterminator. He gained weight almost to 300 pounds. Then one day, he saw a documentary on the lives of Navy SEALs. Their heavy weight training and working out in harsh environments really inspired him. Change has always been an inevitable factor in his life. He decided to join the program to join the Navy SEAL. He had only 3 months to lose almost 100 pounds. It is not even imaginable for a normal person to accept the challenge. But David, he not only started it, but training after training, he finished up joining Navy SEALs in 3 attempts.
At the end of the day, I asked myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes. So if you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure.
Does joining the Navy SEALs stopped him? The answer is no. In 2005, one morning David lost his fellow Navy SEALs in an accident in Afghanistan. This incident moved him deeply. He began his training to run for charity. That was 2006 Badwater 135. He had bone injuries, bowel problems, double vision, and still he was able to finish 100 miles. Even in the final race, he completed the course in 30 hours, even if he had only the capacity to cover up to 26 miles. He describes this next ability to go beyond one's potential as a 40% rule. Once you feel you've given your maximum effort, just keep going, because you've only used your 40% of potential and you can achieve 60% more. That was just the start. In later periods, he just kept going from one ultramarathon to another and achieving one goal after the other. In 2008, he was named a Hero of Running by Runner's World. He completed Hellgate 100-kilometer ultramarathon in 2010, 2013, 2015, and finished 5th with an improvement to 11 hours, 56 minutes, and 2 seconds, compared to his 14 hours, 48 minutes, and 33 seconds in his first. In 2016, he won Infinitus 88K in 12 hours. In 2020, he ran Moab 240, placing second in the 241-mile event. And latest in August 2025, he completed the Bigfoot 200 mountain run. Today, he is the New York's bestseller author, a motivational speaker, and never-retired athlete who keeps inspiring millions of people around the world. He describes this journey of his as being uncommon against uncommon, always achieving, always going. So the real question remains, what keeps David Goggins becoming David Goggins? What is his fuel for motivation?
And then you put a goal in your mind. How are you going to feel, man, when you accomplish this goal coming from that shit? Coming from the fucking hell you came from. A lot of people start from a good starting point. They have a good foundation. What if you can surpass all of these motherfuckers? What if everybody who was fucking way up here started up here, and you started with no legs. You had to grow fucking legs to even start walking, and then crawling, and then running. And then you start passing people with all this given to them. I had to use all this negative shit that was making me weak and horrible as a person. I had to use this as the power that now fueled me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up. This might be exactly what I need.
This might seem uncanny, but David Goggins is the rarest of the individuals who uses, archives his haters' comments, and keeps on listening to them repeatedly as a fuel for motivation. And now you have to find your own inspiration, that 40% rule, and have to just keep going.
It's someone sitting in the room by themselves and they figure themselves out and say, God, this is going to fucking suck. Where's passion when you're 300 pounds? Where's the motivation when you can't read and write? Where is it? So how did this happen? I just fucking did. I just did. I said, maybe at the end of this journey, there'll be something there for me. If not, I can read.